Hey everyone, welcome to the Dirt Vice channel. Before I jump into the topic, I would like to ask that you consider liking and subscribing the video. It doesn't cost anything, and for a little channel like this, it means everything. So please consider it. Thank you. I'm gonna go through the journey of how I made up my decision to switch from GoPro to the DJI cameras. Right off the bat, I just want to say this isn't going to be necessarily a video quality comparison between these cameras. For my needs, I feel like they're both good. GoPro and the DJI Action cameras, they both, as far as image quality goes, they'll both do the job that I need them to do. You know, I'm not going to be over here pixel peeping, zoomed in on random little parts of videos, because I don't necessarily care about that. Like, I just care about what does the overall video look like. You know, this is the camera that I have now, currently the GoPro 8, and this lens is not replaceable. So I've been using it with either this dive housing or this roll cage, which has a little glass piece that's replaceable. So if this gets damaged, you can replace that and it doesn't damage that. But since I'm doing YouTube videos now, I'm a little more conscious of audio quality. Obviously, on a dive housing, there's no, holes in it because you don't want water getting in. You don't get the best audio out of that. This one is a little better, but again, it's not the best. You're still obviously competing with other ambient noises like the engine and whatnot. So I wanted to really get an external microphone mounted inside my helmet, and this is the only option, the media mod. You can put the an external mic, plug it into the back of that. That's the only way to really get something external plugged into this GoPro. But if I use this, now I have nothing protecting the lens. I can't obviously use those and use this at the same time. So that's where the predicament, came in. So I started looking around at, different cameras, and ultimately I decided on getting the DJI Action 4. One of the main reasons why I decided on getting the DJI over the GoPros is just a lot of different type of glitchiness and overheating and freezing. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I was using this camera thinking everything's fine, seeing that this little screen right here is on, seeing like the red light or whatever light, I don't remember, like when you're recording, I think it's a red light, like to indicate that you're recording, is on. But then you get done doing whatever you're doing, and then you look at it and you're like, oh man, this thing's frozen, it's not doing anything. And then you have to open it up, you gotta take the battery out, put it back in to reset the camera. So, I mean, that's so aggravating. Because of that, that's what ultimately led me to get the Action 4. The audio on the DJIs, there's so many more options, and I like it better. Like, this little tiny thing right here goes into the side of that right there, and that's now how you can plug in an external microphone, like a wired microphone. You can just plug it right into here, like the little 3.5 millimeter mic jack right there. It's a little tiny thing. Like, this thing compared to this thing, it's a big difference. Like, this little tiny thing is all you got. It weighs practically nothing. It seems like it's like a little hollow piece of plastic. This thing is much heavier. So that was the audio and the perceived reliability. A lot of the people were saying that they don't have the overheating problems. I haven't had any overheating problems with this camera. Another very noticeable, well, I should say it's very noticeable between the 8 and this camera. People have been reporting that the battery life on this is much better than the newer GoPros as well. And there's the new battery that's out for the Action 5 Pro, which you can use that in this camera as well. But the battery life I feel like is phenomenal so far on this camera. I don't pay attention to how many minutes it records versus the GoPro. I kind of keep track of like the battery in trails, like how many trails I've ridden with the same battery. And I mean, I feel like I can only really get like one trail out of the batteries in the GoPro. After one trail, it's like so low, it'll be like, 33% or something like that, to where I'm like, I got to change this, because I know as soon as I get onto the next trail, I'm just going to run out of battery somewhere in the middle, and I'm not going to be able to change it, because I'm not going to know when it's going to happen, and I'm not going to stop in the middle of the trail to change a battery. So this one I feel like is much better. I'm getting multiple trails out of one battery. The batteries charge super quick. I mean, I think I heard, I'm not an expert, but I think I heard that it'll get to like 80% charge in like 18 minutes. And I seen somebody saying the battery will charge in like 40 minutes, like 100%. Whereas it takes like, 2-3 hours for a GoPro battery. So yeah, the battery life, so far I'm very impressed with that. And I like that it's backwards compatible. You can use that higher milliamp hour battery that comes in the 5 Pro in this Action 4. Quick release is awesome, like especially if you're doing anything with a helmet, if you're like switching between whatever. Like I'm gonna have one mounted on the back of my bike looking behind me and one mounted on my helmet. And then it's like, okay, if you want to do something where you want to do a little bit of vlogging or whatever, and you want to stick it on the selfie stick, quick release, boom, comes right off, right onto the selfie stick. Perfect. Like there, what more could you ask for? You don't have to start unscrewing all these things and just messing around. If you want to change anything on the screen, you don't have to turn it off. And I mean, not turn it off, excuse me. You don't have to take it off and look at the back of the screen. I like that this lens, you could just unscrew it and just put another one on if anything happens to it. You just unscrew that and then screw the new one right back on. Which I didn't know, to be honest, that GoPro 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, I didn't know they did that. I thought only the GoPro 13 did that. Silly me, but and I mean, none of the older ones were really even being considered. I didn't even consider any of those. It was only the 13 or nothing as far as GoPro went. I really like the front touchscreen on the Action 4. The way that I control the cameras when I'm riding is I look in the mirror. With that front touchscreen, I can control all the aspects of the camera. You can get into everything from the front screen, so you don't have to remove the camera from the helmet. And I really appreciate that. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are probably asking, why did I get an Action 4 when there's a new camera, the Action 5 Pro, out? And the reason for that is simply just price. I got this camera on sale on Black Friday for $209. I think it's even still on sale for that price, $209. Whereas I think the 5 Pro is, I want to say either $339 or like $349, something like that. And to me, I mean, it just wasn't really worth the difference in price. I mean, if it was, I think this one was like $299, and then the 5 Pro was like $350. I mean, if it was only a $50 difference, I would maybe get the 5 Pro. But for my needs, I mean, it's not worth 140 or 150 or whatever it is dollars more going from the Action 4 to the Action 5 Pro. Just looking at different reviews where they were reviewing the image quality of the 4s and the 5s, to me, I like the look of the 4 better than the 5 Pro. The 5 Pro to me looks like it's too processed. It just looks, the colors don't look natural to me. They look just way too much saturation, and I don't know. I mean, it just looks like too much software interference, too much. The software is just doing too much in my eyes. I think that it's a lot of maybe just trying to get better dynamic range, and I don't know. To me, I just like the natural, the more natural color of the Action 4 better. And then if you're going to be, shooting, which I'm not, in a D-Log M, where you're using like LUTs and whatever, like all that, like editing, I'm not doing any of that. So that's irrelevant to me. I think they're both pretty similar if that's what you're doing, but just for the normal color coming out of the camera, I like the Action 4 better. I think it looks better. As far as things that I don't like, there's a couple of little things that I don't like with this camera. On the quick releases, this one is actually an aftermarket quick release, where you could see that it's like kind of a normal length. The one on the DJI is so long, like these feet are so long, like the actual DJI one. I don't understand why they made it so long. I mean, and this one is okay. It's as far as the magnet, and these clips are decent. It was inexpensive, but I mean the DJI one obviously like feels a lot better quality, and I know they make a shorter clip, like a shorter mount, and it's a little frustrating. Like to me, I think that's the one that should come with the camera. The shorter one is the one that should automatically come with the camera, and then because I mean you're already getting height like from the mount, like just this little piece that has the magnets in it. So I mean you don't want to add even more to that by having these long feet on it. It just, there's more torque for like something to hit against the camera and like turn the camera on the mount the longer that it is. So like I said, that shorter one should just come with it. They have it in the whatever that is, like the Action bundle or whatever, where it comes with the 3 batteries. That's like one of the accessories that comes with it, that mount. But you can't buy that mount just separately by itself. Like I've looked everywhere. They don't, I guess DJI just doesn't sell it. It only comes in that package. So that's like a little frustrating. And then the other thing is, I don't like how you have to, and I feel like nobody talks about this, but you can only use the camera 5 times without activating it. So you turn it on, and then you have to bypass this little activation thing on the screen. It's like it tells you only have 5 skips before you have to activate it. So that's a little frustrating to me. It's like, why do you have to do that? Like you have to download this program and put it on your. You can only do it on your phone. You can't do it on the computer. It has to go on your phone. And you have to give them all these permissions, and then you got to activate the camera, and that's the only way you can use it. If you don't do that, after those 5 skips, you cannot use the camera. But as far as using the camera, it has been a good experience so far. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And like I said in the beginning, if you like this video, give me a like and subscribe. And I mean the videos are only going to get better. I'm learning everything that I can, and as far as editing and just doing my best to film everything. And I mean I'll be honest, I'm not a cinematographer, so I'm sure some of this looks kind of rudimentary to some people, but like I said, I'm going to continue learning, and the videos should be getting better. So if you like this one, then you're in for a treat, because they're just going to keep getting better. All right, thanks everybody. Take care.